It says Abram, he's walking on Lot, and Lot says, I'll go over here, and he over here. That's what happens in our mind, is that we have issues, but we try to put it over here, and put it over here, and put it over here. But you understand, until you get rid of the issue, you'll never see what really supposed to be. So Abram gets rid of his issue, but he really doesn't get rid of his issue, he just puts it somewhere else. And he takes it over and he puts it to a place called Sodom. He puts it, watch this, he just put his issue, thing that he covered, and put it in Sodom. Sodom means a hot place. It means burning, again, like Haran. He never got rid of the issue. He just put it in another burning place. He left one burning place and put it in another burning place. Sodom means another volcanic. It means like a volcano. That's what Sodom means. So he put one issue, took his nephew out of one issue, Lot, which was a covering. You left a place, didn't get rid of the issue. You just left the place, but the issue came with you.
Yes, right.
Then you go into another place, but now you put your issue in another burning place. Watch this. And then he goes, he said, so, verse 14, he says, and the Lord said unto Abram, after his inward self began to come out after he took away his covering. See, your inward self, watch this, your inner, the God in your divinity, will begin to speak. You ever notice you can hear within you something to do whenever you're not thinking about your issue. It doesn't mean your issue's gone. See, this is the reason why folks have a problem with learning more, because they feel they're already there because they heard something. Because you heard something doesn't mean you're operating in it. It just means really that you're not operating in it, the fact that you can hear it. It just means you're not it yet, but it's trying to come out. That's what I heard. When you heard, it's a sign that you are not yet it. Jesus didn't have to hear, he was doing it. So he didn't have to go away and say, what does the Lord want me to do? What does God's Father speak? Because he just did it. He was it. So he didn't have to say, the Father told me to tell you. The Lord spoke to me and said, I am it, I'm in it, and I'm in it, and I don't have to do that. Who are you? Who do you think you are? Because your mind can't fathom authority. So what happens here is that Lot, with these issues, he puts it in another burning place, but now, after he put it away for a minute, inwardly he can now get direction. But he's still not yet it, because he's still not Abraham. He goes, and the Lord said to Abraham, after Lot was separated from him, lift up now thy eyes, and look from the place where you are, northward, eastward, southward, westward. Again, he's not talking about his outward eyes. See, when you begin to get by yourself in meditation, your eyes are open. And what happens is inwardly, you can go from north, south, east, west. You can now go all over you. Watch this. For all the land that you see, not with your eyes, because you can't see everything with your natural eyes. So he's not talking about natural eyes. See, when you are out of your issue, you can see certain things inward that you couldn't see as long as your eye was on your issue. He said, for all the land which thou seest, I will give it to you, and to thy seed forever. Every person that's born out of that divinity. Forever. Because why? It's your eternal self. Again, Lord means eternity. So he says, forever you will be able to see. You and your seed, or every eternal being, forever. Which means forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth. So that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Well, we can't number the dust of the earth. That's the same way in the spirit. You can't number the spirit. He says, arise, walk through the land in the length, or walk through the way. And he said, in the length of it and the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. Then Abram, watch this, then Abram removed his tent covering. Then Abram, after he realized what was inside him, removed his covering And he came in the plain of Mamre. Watch this. He came to a place, watch this, where all of a sudden now, he started getting some drive. He had force. He had strength. He had vigor. He had, watch this, he started rebelling. Remember we talking again, the word rebel just means to go against control. He finally got to a place where he started coming out of himself. Mamre, he had power to come out of himself. Watch this, which is in Hebron. Oh, glory to God. Hebron. Hebron means to be one. He was in Mamre. He got strength when he removed his tent and he came to a place of companionship. That's what Hebron means. It means companionship. To join oneself together. To knit together. It was in Hebron, the place of togetherness, where inwardly started coming out. And he started getting power and strength to become one with himself. Because at this point, he was separate from himself. He wasn't one with himself. The spirit and the body weren't one. The spirit and the body were warring against each other. And so he got to a place, and then it says, and it came to pass when the days of Amphiel came, and all the kings came, and they had the war, and all the war happened, and they, and watch this, and all these kings, watch this, what it says in verse 3. Look at this. This is what it talks about. Verse 3 of 14. It says, and all these issues who warred against it, watch this, all these issues joined together in the Vale of Siddim, which is in the Salt Sea. See, all these issues came together at the Salt Sea. All these things came together to war against, watch this, all these things. When you start unveiling your issues, that's when more issues start coming. But if you just let them keep coming, it's a sign that you getting ready to get victory over all your issues. All these kings started coming together. All these issues started coming together the moment Abram took his covering off. Now all these kings came in 14, and then they start coming. And in verse 3, they all joined together. And then watch, in 12 years they served Shalamar. And in the 13th year, they rebelled. They left control. Now let's go down to verse, let's just look at it. Verse 13, but you see before here, all the kings came and they said they took all of Lot's goods. See, there was some good in your issue. See, issues wasn't to bring badness to you. It was to bring good. Issues was there's some things that come with issues. But what happened was when Abram got rid of his issues, it took all of the goods. So Abram, watch this, verse 13, there came one that escaped. One escaped. It's just funny how one issue can come and tell you. Watch this. One escaped and told Abram. Abram again means high, lifted up. He says Abram the Hebrew. The word Hebrew, opposite side. Crossover. Transition. When you are coming out of yourself, here comes an issue to tell you about other issues. This is the purpose of why there's always something always left in you. The reason why there's always something left so you can go get other issues. If you were just a perfect person with no issues, then there will be nothing to draw you to other folks with issues. So one escapes, comes and tell Abram, yo, they didn't got Lot. Well, why he care if ever he got rid of his issues? Because Lot used to be with me. That means some other folk got some problems on them, and it's my job that once I transition to the other side, it's my job to now come get folk with issues. So he says he came and got Lot, Abram, the Hebrew. First time ever mentioned that he's from the other side. Because at that point over, he had never translated. He never got, what you want to say, saved. Though he heard from his inward self. Because I hear something spiritual doesn't make me saved or free. He didn't get free till he took off his tent. And now he goes, and now he's going to free people with issues, or issues, coverings. So now he goes and it says, well, he dwelt in the plain of Mamre. Remember what Mamre meant? He dwelt in the plain of strength, of force, of vigor, of power. And he goes now, the Amorite, watch this, the plain of Mamre, the Amorite. The Amorite means to declare, to command, to say. For the first time in his life, he began to declare things. He began to command things. So you can't declare stuff when you got issues on you. The reason why things don't work for folk is because they're trying to speak to mountains. He's trying to speak to mountains when mountains are inside you. You got issues in you, and you trying to speak to things and want things to happen, but it ain't happening because you got issues. You got coverings. So you got to be like Abram, go to a place to uncover. Yeah. So he goes, and now for the first time, he hangs in the plain of Mamre. And the Amorite, which means to command, to say, to speak. And it says, brother of Eshcol. Eshcol means to be together. Be joined together, bunch together. That's why when they came back from Israel in Numbers, when he told them to go in the promised land, and it says they brought back grapes. Do you know they were a bunch of grapes? It was togetherness. They brought back one group of, that's why I said it took two to bring it back, because they didn't understand oneness. See, the grapes was the picture of Eshcol, which means to be bunched together like a cluster of grapes. All these grapes are on one vine. That's why Jesus said, I am the vine. Oneness. Because you are all like grapes, but there should be one vine. The problem is there's too many scattered grapes. Anyway, that's another message. So he said, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, and it says, the brother of Eshcol, bunched together, the togetherness. He was teaching Abraham togetherness, because you can't be Abraham, a multitude, till you learn oneness. So he says he goes to the brother Eshcol, which means bunched together. And then also the brother of Aner, which means to, watch this, toss up and down or to wander. So now he's starting to realize that he has issues inside him, and now he's with a brother who's bunched together, but also tossed up and down. Isn't it funny how they're together, yet they still wanderers, or they're still tossed up and down. So it means I can still be one with folks with issues. Because I don't agree in my mind with you, I'm one with you because I'm trying to get out of my mind. I don't agree in my mind, but inwardly, let's go. Because it says they were allies. Watch this. And they were confederates. They were allies. Confederates means friends. That means when we war together. Even though we toss up and down, even though we got issues, even though we may even argue, even though we may fight, we still won. Confederates with Abram.